This is a spoken word poem called Think. Think. Think before you speak. Think before you spread your ignorance and bigotry to an impressionable kid. Think before that kid goes off to tell another little kid that he shouldn't be alive, that he shouldn't be allowed to breathe the air that we have all breathed in and out for humanity's entire existence, that he is destined to burn in the fiery depths of hell for all eternity. Think before that little kid takes that into his heart, a boy of only 12, and he honestly believes that he deserves a fate of Prometheus, to have his liver carved out every day by the sharp talons of a bird that has not given him a chance. That liver is his heart and his mind, and that bird is our society, full of bigots and hate mongers, and those talons are our words and actions, full of spite and malice, and this whole cycle will come crashing down on his head worse than any punishment that could be thought of by some ancient Greek gods, and the little boy will not be able to stand it. Think before you spread the tragedy. Don't you know? Can't you see what you're doing? Don't you know that every day is a vital choice, a life and death decision for some of the children and young adults facing the harsh judgment of their peers? Should I go to school today? Should I take my normal sunny route home past downtown? Should I even get out of my bed, leave my safe house, literally my sanctuary, where those kids who hate me could take me and hit me and maybe even kill me like they tried to do before? Don't you know how much a waterfall of fists on your face hurts, like a ton of bricks to a carton of eggs? Don't you know how much a shoed heel kills when it is kicked, driven into your ribcage? Don't you know what it's like to wonder, why? What have I done to deserve this fate? There are too many of these. Too many kids who think they have problems. Suburban white girl problems. Middle-class mall rat problems. I'm not popular problems. When your rich daddy won't buy you an Escalade problems. Over-sheltered, bratty American kids of today problems. They will never know. They will never know what it's like to be a GLBT kid in today's system. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. The high-on-life kind of child. The child who always has a spring in her step. Who knows every cloud has a silver lining and loves every single little diminutive thing that she sees. They will never know what it's like to be that child and have her natural, beautiful personality shut down, squished, spoiled, suppressed, swallowed up, and sucked away by the I'm not popular problem kid and the middle-class mall rat problem kid and every kid who has been raised by bigotry or who has adopted bigotry. And they shut down that child for something that she has been born with. They shut down by God, and even though that was the way that God made them, they are shut down and smacked down. They have clearly never met the little girl with a real reason to be depressed, a real reason to threaten her mind and body with chemicals, pills, razors, heights, rope, and all other deadly means of hurting. A real reason to feel like dying, but also a real reason to desperately want to stay alive, because every day on her way home from school, the boys on her street throw rocks at her, and the girls on her street holler names at her, and everyone spreads their hate to her, and when she comes home crying with blood dripping down and caressing her face, her alcoholic mother has no sympathy for her, a lump on the couch holding a mimosa, telling her to stop roughhousing with the other kids. They've undoubtedly never talked to the boy who was the captain of the football team. Parents loved him, pride of his little backwash southern town in Alabama, and then he let the wrong words slip out of his mouth. He was tied to the back of a pickup truck, and he was dragged along the slow country road for who knows how long, over the broken glass of beer bottles and the stones older than he was and the dirt that caught his blood, but all those things had no sympathy for them. They would not tell his story, the story of how his lifeblood was tracked along the county and nobody heard his screaming and crying, and eventually his body just couldn't take anymore, and it gave out, his mind, his muscles, and his heart. They've obviously never been face-to-face with the woman born in the body of a man who was returning home from a night out with her friends at 22 years old, the starry sky watching over her, and each and every ball of gas was complimenting her on what a convincing female she made. Then 3 men cornered her, grabbed her, and pulled up her skirt, and one of them pulled out a knife, and one of them said, "If you want to be a woman so bad, we'll make you one." And the ice-cold metal on her genitals stung, and she sobbed, wailing cries, desperate cries that would ring in the alleyway for all eternity, but the garbage cans cannot tell her story, and the alley cats do not make good witnesses. Those who spread hatred obviously don't know hopelessness. Do you know my best friend? Jumped by 5 guys, outnumbered, held to the ground as they screamed "Dyke Girl" into the chilly night air which had no sympathy for her, for chilly night air has never had sympathy for anyone. And neither did the boys who beat her at midnight in Doyle Field in a town she thought she was safe. Do you know my best friend?